Karine-Jean, the former White House press secretary who spent years lying to you about Joe Biden, is now trying to rebrand herself. She's ditched the Democratic Party and registered as an independent. Why? Because she wants to sell a book. It's that simple. Look, this isn't some noble act of courage or honesty. This is a calculated move from someone who spent years lying to the American people and now wants to cash in on a tell-all while pretending she wasn't part of the very mess she's exposing. Her time in the White House was a masterclass in deflection, denial, and gaslighting. If you asked a question about Biden's mental fitness, she insulted you. If you asked a question about the border, she changed the subject. If you asked about the economy, she told you things were, quote, stronger than ever. While people struggled to afford groceries, she continued with that argument. And now, all of a sudden, she's had a change of heart. Are you kidding me? In the book, she says the White House was broken. Well, no crap. She complains that the Democratic Party betrayed President Biden. Who wouldn't? You saw what he looked like. She even claims that it was party politics, not Biden's failures, that led to his decision to drop out of the race. Give me a break. You don't get to spend years as the face of this administration and then suddenly turn around and say, actually, I don't agree with any of it. Sorry, that's not how it works. Remember this? She stood at the podium time and time again telling us that Biden was sharp, engaged, and totally fine. She told the press that questions about his cognitive decline were offensive or inappropriate. Let's take a walk down memory lane and let's remember just exactly how all of this panned out.
MAGA Republicans are the most energized part of the Republican Party. I think this is an extreme threat to our democracy, to our freedom.
Is there any possibility that the president would end up pardoning his son?
No. I just said no. I just answered.
It would seem that people in this White House knew that President Biden was slipping, and it was hidden from the American people.
Know that is a narrative that you love.
No,
Wait, hold on. President Biden has been clear-eyed about the threat that the former president represents to our democracy.
Today, the Council of Economic Advisors released a blog showing grocery inflation is indeed slowing, with prices of eggs and produce such as vegetables and fruit falling in recent months.
Why is it in the country's best interest for him to step aside? Does it have to do with his health or
it does not have to do, they have nothing to do with his health. He is as sharp as ever, as I have known him to be in my engagement, in my experience with him. And I think you all have called this the cheap fakes video, and that's exactly
yes,
what
the
they
cheap
are.
fakes. Do you remember this?
They are done in bad faith. Disaster relief funds used on immigrants illegally in the U.S. The fact is, no money is being diverted from response needs. That's the fact.
Quote, yes, that was a huge lie by the Biden administration.
Why is President Biden saying that his uncle Bozie was eaten by cannibals?
The president had a emotional and I think a symbolic moment. He had an opportunity as president to honor his uncle's service in uniform. I think we need to stop thinking in boxes and think outside.
This is the new book. This is her
and not be so
promoting
partisan.
this book. Oh my goodness, folks. You literally can't make
MAGA
it up.
Republicans
You cannot
are
make
the
it up.
most
I mean, it just goes on and on. You can't make this up. According to Karine, behind closed doors, she was exhausted, overwhelmed, and dealing with a dysfunctional White House. Isn't that crazy? So which is it, Karine? Were you lying then or are you lying now? Nobody knows what you're doing. Quite frankly, everyone believes you were lying all the time. So, Karine, what do you have in store for us? Do you have some major truth you're going to drop? No, there's not going to be any major truth. She told people that Americans should embrace independence. Nobody's going to embrace you when they don't believe anything that you're saying or really appreciate what you've done because you haven't done anything. After she spent years, of course, towing the party line and trying to work on people to attack Republicans and praise failed policies and defend a president who clearly clearly was not fit for the job. This is what they all do. They prop up the broken system, and so long as it benefits them, it's okay. But when the ship starts to sink, they jump off and pretend that they were never on board. It's like this, Karine. You know, it's not just that it's her, it's the whole party of the pattern of the left. They scream that everything's fine and that anyone who questions them is a threat to democracy. And then when it all falls apart, they say, oh, yeah, actually, things were pretty bad. We actually knew about this. And then they all write a book about it and make a few million bucks, rather. You saw Jake Tapper just a few weeks ago out with his book, and everybody's talking about it. I mean, heck, we're talking about her book. Maybe this is an effective strategy, but nonetheless, it just highlights what they all do, which is be part of a huge mess and then talk about, oh yeah, I knew it was bad. But in the moment, they go on, you know, this big sort of attack against anybody who calls out what they're doing. Karine-Jean is not some type of a whistleblower. She's not a hero for switching her voter registration after the damage is done. She's just another political operative who wants to sell her book and make money from her own record, her own lies, and her own role in one of the most transparently incompetent administrations, might I add, in American history. And certainly, she was a little bit worse than the one who was before her. I think we can agree that despite the fact that Karine-Jean was a terrible press secretary, at least Jen Psaki could put a nice bow on the BS and package it up and maybe sell it a little bit better. And then this was the grand replacement. It just gets better and better. And again, maybe she's smart because we're talking about her book and not ours, but nonetheless, everybody knows this whole thing is a joke and a big money-making scheme. Personally, I don't believe that she is going to be an independent. I mean, maybe she wrote this and she's changed her voter registration, but that doesn't make her a hero. She's doing this for book sales so that people talk about it. And to her credit, it's working. Here we are. Here you are watching. But everybody knows that this is part of the whole scheme, right? And they continue to do this time and time again with these books. I mean, heck, maybe I should write a book at this point. And it's the same little cycle. So what do you think? Would you ever buy her book? Do you believe her? Do you think that she was a great press secretary? What are your thoughts? Let me know down below. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. Follow along on Instagram, X, Snapchat, YouTube, all the places, Facebook. And we'll, of course, be sure to read your comments and go through those. So let me know what you think. Appreciate you watching. We'll see you again soon.